Hello, this is Tricia from Tricia's Cards and Crafts, and today I thought I wanted to do a sort of series of taster sessions for people that might not think that they can do any crafting, but they'd like to give something a try and they don't know where to start. So what I thought I'd do, I'd show you some different, I'd do one each week and do a different theme or topic every week. And I'm going to start off with something that, though it can look really difficult, it's really simple, and you just once you've broken things down and you can see where it starts and how to do something, you can just do it without a problem at all. There's lots of different, this was thought up by a lady and her husband, or a partner, and they wanted something, because people said, oh well, I can't do anything like you, because she was a graphic illustrator and she did a lot of beautiful lettering, but she did doodles and patterns around the letters to make them stand out or to mix them in with the pictures on the pages. So she sort of decided, she was looking around and she saw lots of patterns in different things, and she thought, well, they wouldn't be difficult to do. So this is where Zentangling came from. So this is my Zentangle journal that I've made, and I started off doing lots of squares and just practicing different patterns. So I had a book to start with to show me how to do it, and even though I've made a mistake on some of them, it doesn't matter. It's not a problem. They're just for me, they're just for practice. Even if you do a picture and you make a mistake, you haven't really made a mistake. You can't make a mistake. You just incorporate it into your design. So these are some of the patterns that I started off with. And this is a journal that I've done. So this is a page. I made a big shape, rectangle. And it doesn't matter that the lines are not straight, that's not a problem at all. Then I just did some squiggles within the shape, and I then did different patterns inside each of the different areas. So that's where that comes from. It's just lots of different patterns, and they're really simple to do. It's straightforward. If you can draw a line, draw a circular shape. It doesn't have to be a circle, it's just like an orb or a bubble or a balloon. If you can do something like that, you can draw a curved line, you can do Zentangling. It's just working out how to start. And if you've got just a small area to work in, then it's even more simple then. So here's lots of other patterns that I made a start, and I've done quite a lot of these. So here's some more. They're really straightforward, they're very simple, they're not difficult to do at all. If I can do them, then anybody can. Okay, so here's some more. I like a lot of these patterns that you can weave. They look as though they're woven, and I'll show you some more in a minute. There's some more different patterns. This one has got a few different ones in, for most of them are just sort of blocks of the same patterns. These I went on to do some other Celtic crosses, but we don't need to do that. Now, when I was coming to think about starting this particular course, I thought, well, it might be nice to actually incorporate some colour into them as well. So, and I've got quite a lot of fine line pens, and you can pick them up really cheaply. You can get them from you can get them from supermarkets even. There's no problem with picking them up. And all I did was I drew an outline of a bird on a tree stump, and I then just sectioned different areas off, and then I put different patterns in each of the areas. I even did the stump of the tree, and I made it look as if it was sort of a knotted effect on the tree. With the centre one, I just did some squiggly circles just to make it look like the rings of the tree as well. I tried to use sort of feathery sort of patterns for the bird, just because I thought that would be more in keeping with the bird. I then went on to try and do a turtle. So, because I've thought the actual different pieces of the shapes on a turtle shell would be great for actually putting in different patterns, which I did, and I've done the same thing with the legs and or feet and the arms, or whatever you want to call them. I then drew some more little designs just to finish off the page. Did some little doodles at the top to make it look a bit like a wave, and did some little shapes dangling down. So they can be dangles, you can be tangles, they can be called all sorts of things, but those are that's where I these are the things that I did with some colour. I've gone back to using black and white and practicing some different patterns again. So these are some more. They're really simple to do. You just, once they're broken down, it's really simple, and I will show you how you can make a start on these. Some of these shapes, again, I've not used a ruler. I've just drawn with my hand drawn, so you can see that they're not straight lines. They are a bit wiggly, and sometimes the more wiggly the lines, the better. Some of them you'll notice I've got names after them. Some of them don't. So these are some of the. If I've got a name for something, I will write it underneath, so that, or on top, so that I know. And I've started on this page, and I think I did a little bit on this page, these pages, with some shading. So I'll show you a little bit, explain a bit about that as well. All you do it in just the plain black and white, or whatever colour this page is, to start with, and then you add a pencil. But you then use one of these little paper stumps, they're called tortillons, and you just rub over where you've drawn the line, and it shades the colour in, so it's not so dark, but it just adds a bit of a shadow to the shaded effect, so that some of them actually stand out a bit more. And you try and shade over where you've got something underneath another line, so there's there and there, because then that looks as if it's lifted up on top of it, and so there and there. So anywhere where you could say that something was underneath something else, you would do a bit of shading, just so that it helps to lift the image up off the page. Okay, so that's how some of these look really difficult, but they're so simple to do, they're so easy to do. They really can look really effective. And what I've done, I saw somebody on, you can see, people do videos on this on YouTube. They do, you can find images, if you Google them, you can find, if you Google Zentangle or Doodle, it's Zendoodling, or there's lots of different things you can find on the internet. But somebody, sorry, just take a sip of water a sec. Oh, that's better. Right, somebody I saw, you can get these packs, there's 5 packs of these little books from W.H. Smith. I think they're about £3.99, might be less, might be more, I'm not sure. But they're about 60 sheets on each page, so you've got about 300 altogether. And I've started using this now as well, and I've done some more sample examples of the different patterns that you can find. I've named them and I've numbered them. You could probably, it might be good if you actually put the date on them when you did them, just so that it helps you to know. And you can also see some sort of progression then as to how you're improving with your patterns. So that one's not very good because the black, it went through, the ink went through that one, but that's not a problem. I haven't done any shading on that one, but I thought because it gets more intense in the centres of some of those shapes, I thought you didn't really need a lot of shading for that one. But I have shaded this one and that one and this one. I haven't shaded that one yet. Okay, so those are just some, and I thought I'd try and do a few every day or every couple of days, just so that, and then when you come to do a shape like I did with the animals and the bird and the turtle, you can then look at your different shapes and decide, that would look nice inside that particular area, and you can just copy your pattern. You can use any sort of books. I've got you can use a little sketch pad, you can use lined paper. It doesn't really matter what paper you use. Sometimes you'll find if you look online, they use tiles. You can use any size tiles. These are some I've done, instead of black on white, I've done some white on black. So, and I've put my initials and the year that I've done that one. So I've just done that one recently. I'll show you how I would start it in a minute. Then this is another one on some craft paper card, and again I've used black, but I've also used white to do some highlighting. I think it looks really effective. And this one is just a letter, my initial P, Patricia, and I've done some white work on there. So you can do it on, you could do it on any colour, and you can use any colour to do the lines with as well. Now here's one I've actually done. I don't know whether you can see it all. Don't think you probably can, but this was something that I did for our church. We've been doing some work in spirituality, and I thought, well, perhaps I could use some of my Zentangling to illustrate it. So I'd seen somebody had done something similar with embroidery, and I thought, oh, that looks good. I wonder if I could do that with Zentangles. So that was when I actually coloured in, but that's, let me show you the original if I can. Oh, can't see it. Oh, there it is. That was the original. I did them in pencil on card, and then I photocopied it onto paper, and that's what I coloured it in on. But if it was, if you actually put those in a frame, you would know that it was on paper. So, and I've used some actual gold paint to do this with as well. Actually, there was some gold ink in a pen. I think it wasn't paint. I have got some gold paint, but I just thought when you saw the old illustrated texts, I thought that would be nice to put some gold onto things as well, onto some of the images. So that was the original. So just in case, I didn't want to make not a mistake, but I didn't know quite how it was going to turn out, so I could now go back and use the colours that I'd used on this sheet. I could then go back and colour the original in as well. So that was one I did. This is another one. I've used different sort of fonts and on each of them, and I've done different patterns around the outside as borders, different patterns inside. So that's another one. This is another one. So I looked up and found some quotes from the Bible as well, some different verses. But you can do anything. You could do a poem, you could do a piece of a story that you like. So this is another one again. You can see how I've used quite a few different tiling patterns, and then this one is quite sort of, I don't know, intertwined sort of lines, and then it looks as though there's something holding onto them like little rings around them. But they are quite simple and easy to do. And there's another one. And for worship, I thought that's in the sort of shape of a dove or a flame. You've got more there. Crosses, I thought, well, as it's worship, perhaps an apples or hearts even. So you've got lots of different images that you can use. Maybe the communion wine, you know. And then I think this is the last one. Work and garden. So I've got lots of sort of images that look a bit more like plants. So I've got sunflower, maybe peas, maybe then different leaves, oranges perhaps. It doesn't have to be, but you can find inspiration in almost anything. That's the whole point of, and you also can, when you're actually doing them, you can get sort of lost in it, and they're really interesting things to do. One thing, when I first started, I remember seeing somebody showed somebody actually, they'd drawn around their hand, and then they used the shape of their hand once they'd taken it away and just cut into different sections. So you've got, say, each of the fingers would be one, you might cut the palm of the hand in two, so you've got 2 more sections there. So you have 7 different sections to put different patterns in. But if you're starting off nice and simply, you want to do a tile, there's 3 different sizes here. That one's about 2 3/4, that's 3 by 3, and that's 3.5 by 3.5. But it doesn't matter what size you use. And we use, I've got, here's my pencil case, and I'll show you what I've got in here. Got a pencil. Now that you can use any different pens. If you're doing blacking in, so you want the background to be black, you could use a thicker lined pen. So I've got one that end, and these I picked up really cheaply in Aldi's, and they've got a fine line one end and a thicker end as well, so that's quite nice. So you can do your fine lines in the one end with the one end, and dark and the black with the other end. Then I've also got a series of these pens, and they're all different width nibs. So that one's 1.1 centimetre, and it goes to 0.3, 0.5 and 0.8, and these are all uni-pin ones. They're fine, they're nice to use. If you're using white pens, I've got this one, which is the Jelly Roll pen, and this one's a 0.8. I think they're all, the ones that I've got are all the same. Yeah, they're all 0.8, but you can get different thicknesses, different thicknesses of the white jelly rolls as well. You can also use these uni Poscas. This one's a 0.7 millimeter nib, so you can get different thicknesses for those as well, for you if you're doing work on different coloured cards. These show up nice to do your highlights with. When you're doing your shading, you can use any pencil, but if you've got anything sort of graphite, a lot of people use, but any pencils will do. This one's just a revolving pencil, but this one isn't, obviously. You can use erasers to take out, if you've shaded something too dark and you want it a bit lighter, you can use your eraser obviously to take some of it away. And then you use, this isn't a pencil, this is just the paper stub. You can get them in packs. And they also come with these little they're little blocks of sandpaper. So when you've got something a bit that's not very sharp anymore, or you want to change your colour, because you can use coloured pencils as well, you can just rub it onto the sanding block and you just renew it that way, and it also sharpens it if it's gone a bit blunt and you want something a bit sharper. So that's what you can use that for. Okay, so those are my pens and things in there, and I think we'll start off with a 3 or a 1, yeah, 3, just so that you can see what I'm doing. So you start off usually when you have a tile and you draw 4 dots, and then you just draw a line. Whoops, see, I'm not very good at drawing straight lines to join dots, and then you draw your lines to join up your dots. And again, they don't have to be straight. Okay, so don't worry about drawing straight lines. If you can draw a straight line, you can draw a curved line, you can draw a squiggly line, and you can draw a round shape. It doesn't have to be a circle, just a round shape. It could be a bubble, could be a balloon, could be, I don't know, anything. An orb, a lot of people call it. Then you can do any of these patterns that I'm going to show you now. So you start anywhere, doesn't matter where. You've got quite a big space, so you want to break this down into smaller spaces, and then you can do some more. And maybe some more. There we go. So I've got a few different spaces on here now, and we just make up some. Right, sorry about that. I don't know whether you noticed, but somebody phoned me and I was using my phone to video, so I'll just carry on with this and just go through a few of these shapes. I don't know whether I can zoom in a little bit. So start off really simply. I think we'll start here. So just start with a line. So just keep drawing these lines, and it can be as simple as that. There you go, and that's it for one. You've finished one. I think I might just draw another line in here. Here we go. So let's start doing one here. So I'm going to start by drawing a funny sort of S shape, and I'm going to draw some lines coming off. And at the top of these lines, I'm going to draw like a sort of bracket shape, maybe. And another one here. And you can just keep turning, whoops, your card as you do them, just so that it's in the right position for you. And then in between, I'm going to do a little, like a V shape, and I'm just going to draw a little there we go. Might do another one here. Okay, and then I'm going to start at the end of one of these and just do some wiggly lines. Now the more wiggly the better. Some of them there's not a lot of space around. Oops. bigger and take that down to there and take that one down to there. So now you've got like a leaf shape. So just put a little bit of a heavier weight at the bottom. If I wanted to, I can just leave it like that, or we can do another little shape maybe here. So do another one. One of these little tin V's. There we go. And then start doing some wiggly lines again. There you go. So we've got another leaf in that one. I think that's all I'm going to do in that one. Right, for this one, I'm going to do, so if you can do a spiral shape, you can just keep doing spiral shapes. And if you've got a little gap, you can put a little circle in it, a little orb in it. So we've got a gap there, a gap there. And they don't have to be the same size, they can be bigger, they can be smaller. And when you've got a gap, just fill it with a little orb or a little bubble. If you come to the edge and you haven't got room for a full one, you can just make up a shape, sort of show like that one, just put some smaller lines in as if it was another shape there, but there's not enough room to show the whole one. Or you can put a little orb in. There we go. So that's some more shapes. You don't have to make them as small as that. And again, you can just do these are called aura lines. So you've got another line that follows another one, and you could possibly black in a shape in the middle, and you could leave a gap, do another aura, leave a gap, do an aura, there you go, and then could use a thicker pen. This one. and I could colour in between these lines. Again, if you made the shapes bigger, then you just could make larger patterns to go inside them. You can make them as big or as small as you like. There we go. And maybe in this one here, start here and just do this shape. There we go. So that's another shape done. So you can just keep on filling in these shapes however you want. So if we do, I'll show you one of these nice little tile shapes. So with this one, you want to try and do some little squares, sort of parallel to each other, some little boxes, box shapes, and try and leave the same sort of gap between each of them. There we go. And then to draw the pattern, you draw a line at the bottom, joining the bottom two, and again there, and then between that miss the shape, and then do the same thing there, and the same thing there, and then you leave a space and do the bottom one, and that one would be across there. Then if we turn them around, we're doing the outside of those two and the outside of those two, the outside of those two, and the outside of those two. So you already look as though you've got a sort of woven ribbon through it. This is where it gets interesting now. So you then join the inside of that one and the inside of that. Doesn't work so well on this one because you can't really see where it's going, but that's how you do that one. And so this one, you'd use the outside of those two boxes, that one, and then you use the outside of that one, the outside of that box. So now you've got a woven box shape. So to make it a little bit more interesting, you can use, just put some little dashes where you would sort of see a shadow sort of underneath. So where that one looks as though it could be underneath those two, you draw things. So then we would draw a few lines coming from there, and you just do that all the way around. So that one would have some lines. I think I've put them all in. Now this is where I'll show you some shading. So again, just to emphasize that a bit more, if I put some pencil where those little lines are, you'll be able to see what I mean about the shading and the way it helps to make. No, wrong way. See, I knew I'd do it. But it's in pencil, so it doesn't matter. No, wrong one. That side. There we go. Right. And now if I use this little stump here, you're just going to smooth out those lines. I should have been up there. That's it. And this one. If I want that to be a bit less, some more white, so I can just rub some of that shading out. So now you can see that it actually looks a bit more as if the ribbon, this ribbon or something that's been woven through and around. Okay, and it's as simple as that. So if you want to find out a bit more, you can find out some more patterns and things in books that are written by different people. You can find them on Amazon, eBay, you can find them all over the place. But you don't even need to buy books. You can find patterns by just Googling patterns on Pinterest or on Google, or you can Pinterest. You can do all sorts, and there's other people that will show you how to do things on YouTube as well. But these books, they show you step by step how to do a pattern. So for example, this, like a Celtic knot, you could, we'll try one of these. So it shows you where to start and how to actually do it. So you start off, if we do one in here, so you start off with a square. Hang on, I'll use the 3, this one will do. So start off with a square, and from that I'm going to draw a line off on opposite corners. Then I'm going to draw another line. Yeah, that's right. Like that. And then I'm going to draw a loop around there, a loop around there, a loop around here, a loop around there, and then this is going to be too big, but we'll go around. So it's going to come around to there, that one's going to go around to there, this one's going to come around, go to there, and that one's going to go up around to there. And then all you're going to do is take your pencil and you're going to shade. So you're going to shade where things go underneath, and you can perhaps do a little bit around the curves. You're not going to see it there. So we'll just shade that one in. So now you can see it sort of stands out from the page a bit more as well. Okay, so that's how, so if you've got the lines there, you just draw up to that line and you sort of guess where you would have drawn that line, so you sort of make it so that it fits. Okay, so that's how you would look for a pattern that you think would fit. Again, maybe we could do some of these. I'll use this one to do some little ones. So we first of all just draw a line, a little curved line, and then we're just going to draw another one, another one, another one, another one, and then we're going to draw an out. And then you're just going to draw from there down to there. Ooh, that's not right. So if I bring that one round a bit further, there we go. And that one there, that one there, and around to there. That one there, and around to there. That one there, around to there. There, around to there. And you can just put a little line and maybe make that look more like a circle. I don't think that looks quite the same, but there we go. We'll try it again. Little version. Just draw black the centre in, and I haven't really got any room to put the little lines in there, but there we go. It's not quite as good as that, but it doesn't matter, it's my version of that. So if I want to I could just make some little versions of that. There we go. Okay, so again, for this one maybe we could use this pattern here. I don't know whether you can see it. And we'll try doing, so we're doing 2 straight lines. We're going to go around like that, around the top of the lines to join them together, and then do another one around the top of that. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do another one there. Then we'll have one coming out here. Oops, forgot that one. One coming out here, goes around the top, and that one comes around again. And you just carry on drawing your little designs or your versions of them. Some will be in front, some will be behind. Oops. Okay, I mean, some people have gone through training on how to do this. I haven't done anything like that, but if you get into it that much, you might be interested in doing something like that as well. I'll finish that one off again, and maybe in this one here we'll draw some lines. So we start off with 2 lines here, and then we'll draw some lines to go in behind. And this one I'm going to draw 2 lines that's going to go behind there, and I'm going to have line that's going to go behind there. Might have one that goes all the way and ends up over here. Another one that comes from here goes behind there. Maybe another one goes all the way down there. Maybe one you've got quite a lot of crisscrossing lines, and one of the inspirations for this pattern is when you look up at branches in a tree. So you can put in little orbs just to keep a bit more interest in it. Add something into the shape. And just show there's something inside of those. So if I just, there we go, and maybe, no, I think I'll just carry on doing those. So I'll finish that one off. I hope you've enjoyed that. Again, you'd do some shading, so you'd put some bits of some shading underneath anywhere that you've got something crossing underneath your line. There you go, and then you just use your tortillon just to, something to do with a bit of sharpening. Nothing there, but you can use do this, and it would be quite relaxing and therapeutic. And then you could do some shading in the little orbs as well if you wanted to. Haven't really got anything there, but there you are. So you see, you can they mix them stand out even more. You could do some shading here, just to make you could put some shading around the edges just so that it makes that seem as if it's more inside. So it pops out a bit more. Actually, I think I take that bit out and it looks more as if it's inside the shape. But again, you can shade all of these images as well. Okay, so that's just a start. If you're interested in that, you can find lots of inspiration, as I said, Google or in books, or you can find things on YouTube. And if you want to see any more, let me know. If you could put a comment below and let me know what you think. If you'd like to see more, then we can do some more. If not, don't worry, I'm going to be trying something different next week, and I hope you'll join me again. Thanks for joining me this time. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of the videos, subscribe to my channel please, and if you click on the little bell icon you'll be notified when I post a new video. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!